Hey guys, I recently got to go see a screening of Kill the Messenger, which is the new based on a true story movie directed by Michael Cuesta and starring Jeremy Renner. The film is about a series of stories published in 1996 by the San Jose Mercury News by a reporter named Gary Webb. He uncovered that the CIA had allegedly been allowing drug traffickers, cocaine traffickers, out of Nicaragua into the United States, and then the CIA would catch the drug dealers and then launder the money back to Nicaragua in order to fund the Contra movement. The US didn't want to support the war of the rebels. This sounds really familiar right now in a weird way. But they needed to provide them guns and weapons and financial support in order for them to win the war against their own government. Yeah, just go watch the movie. But that's what happened in 1986, and then since then, a lot of things happened that either confirm or deny Gary Webb's story. And so this is Gary's journey going from this really small paper in San Jose, diving deeper and deeper and deeper into the story and putting himself and his career and his family in danger, both literally and sort of just professionally. So Michael Cuesta, who directed this movie, is an independent film director, but is probably best known at this point for having directed the pilot to Homeland. And this movie kind of feels a lot like Homeland. It's not as like bobby and weavy and handheldy as Homeland is, but it has that feeling of being really, really personal. It's a really personal story that's telling on a much bigger canvas. And so what the film does really interestingly is really focus on Gary and Gary's journey into this story. And so one of its faults, I think, is that it leaves a lot of the pieces of the puzzle out in terms of how the CIA responded directly to Gary, how Gary got all his facts exactly, if he did all of his due diligence. We don't get filled in on all of those details, and they become really important, and it creates a couple of holes in the movie. But overall, the cinematography really gets you into a really personal space. It's really well directed, and by far the best part of the movie is Jeremy Renner. This is the Jeremy Renner that got 2 Oscar nominations that we all forgot about. This is the Hurt Locker Jeremy Renner. This is the Town Jeremy Renner. Hawkeye happened, which is great, and I love Hawkeye, but you know, it's not like acting. That terrible Bourne movie happened, which we all would like to forget. And then because we wanted to forget Bourne, we forgot about Jeremy Renner. But no, he's there. He's there, and he's really, really, really f***ing good. Watching him turn this man who has become a legend for good reasons and bad reasons, and in good ways and in bad ways. He's become sort of a caricature of a journalist in the way that we talk about him because of the events that went down. The script very much sides with Gary. It very much goes with like, Gary is telling the truth and everybody else is wrong. And that's not a spoiler, right? Like, that's what the movie's about. Gary is right, and you get to decide for yourself whether you agree with that, but that's the movie's point of view. But that's not even necessarily the way that Jeremy Renner plays him. He plays him as a very complex character that allows you to make those decisions as you discover the pieces of this puzzle along the way. It's really a contentious issue in our society about whether or not the news industry is actually doing their job, which is to tell the truth and to figure out how to get the truth to the public no matter the cost. Arguably, that's what they're supposed to be doing. They're not supposed to be pawns in a bigger political machine. So overall, I think this movie is really well directed. It's lacking a little bit in the script department, but I think it makes up for it in the way that it's shot and in the way that Jeremy Renner pulls off this performance. And I think it's really, really worth seeing for that reason alone. If you're not into like heavy politics, it's still a really personal story about his journey and his family. Rosamund Pike plays his wife, and he has his 3 kids, and he has a lot of backstory that when the story comes out and suddenly the reporter's life becomes a bigger story than the story itself, creates issues within his family and strains his relationship with his wife. And Rosamund does a really, really good job at handling a woman who's both really strong but really conflicted about her husband and the choices that they've both made. Yeah, we're heading into award season, and I'm really happy to see an adult movie with adult themes that isn't about explosions. That's my recommendation. Go see it. Let us know in the comments what you think of Kill the Messenger. If you do get the chance to see it, I really recommend it. Otherwise, hit like and subscribe and tune in to CineFix for more movie news and stuff. That's all I have to say. Oh, I have a thingy. What do I do with it?